Hi, Lester, Wish Your Engineer. I thought for today's video I wanted to present a prototype of a sheath or a scabbard system that I've developed for my folding spear, which I introduced in one of my very first videos actually, entitled something like the Folding Long Weapons Platform. Not a very exciting title, so probably didn't draw a lot of attention aside from the fact that my presentation left a lot to be desired, and still does, but you know, I'm getting there. So I thought I would introduce this sheath that first of all I better show you what the folding spear looks like, just for those of you who haven't seen that video. I'll leave a link to that video as well, so you can go back and have a look at it. Please excuse the quality. I am trying to improve things. So the spear is made out of essentially a glass fiber pull-truded batten or spar from a sailing supply store. It's about the strongest that they make. And in addition, all of the metal fittings, including the pivot point here, the hinge point, and just about everything else metallic on here is made out of titanium, including the langettes, which you can see from the side here, which are riveted and epoxied in place as well. So quite a well reinforced structure. It's not light. It weighs probably about 1.5 to 1.7 kilograms because I do try and build things like a tank. I like things to last. The folding mechanism, it's a locking folding mechanism, so it locks in place and is sort of based on a Swiss Army knife folding or a folding knife locking system. In addition to the piercing point at the tip, I've got these two wings or guards here, which are modeled after a boar spear. So it's a short spear. It's about as long as I can make it while still being able to fold up into something that is reasonably portable. The tip can be replaced with a whole host of other, well, whatever you'd like to put on the end of it actually. And there are a couple of projects that I have in mind for later videos, which hopefully I can get to at some point in time in the future. This is not a very well designed spear tip, but it serves a purpose at the moment. So the sheath or scabbard looks like this. Essentially, it's just a box that I've made out of wood, plywood, and I've got a belt loop on it, which is adjustable, so I can adjust the angle of the sheath as it hangs on the belt, and the spear just slots into there. And I'll put this on now, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's in place, and I'll show you some of the drawing mechanics and how it could potentially be worn in maybe in a fantasy setting where you might have a character in a story or in a role-playing game who has a folding spear that they can draw about as quickly as someone could draw a sword and use it. So this is the spear in its sheath on the side. As you can tell, there's a little bit of a piercing danger here, but in the long run, what you could have is just a soft cover or sheath for the tip of the spear as it rests on the side here, so that you don't jab yourself in the arm with it, which can be removed quite quickly as you draw the spear. But I'll go through the two spear drawing techniques that I've been using with this current prototype. The sheath prototype, this is really just a prototype. In the long run, I'd like to rebuild it, redesign it, build it out of probably some kind of a lighter composite or plastic material. It doesn't need to be as bulky as it is now. So I want to try and streamline that quite a lot. But as a working prototype, it works nicely for me to just test to see how effective it would be. So So the first draw the first draw technique I'll use is the underhand draw technique. So that's with the hand underneath, and essentially I'm just going to draw and lock it into place, and then it's ready to use. And you can actually employ attacks with those drawing mechanisms as well. I'm not going to get into that now, but I'm sure you can use your imagination. So the second draw mechanism is an overhand grip on the base of the spear, which is kind of more of a circular drawing movement and might be employed with the wings or the guards of the spear as kind of a pick movement as you're drawing the spear, some kind of an attack or a block even. So that works like that, and then you're ready to rock and roll. So I'll try a little bit of fun now with some of the targets that I've set up here. We'll see what happens. I'll try both draws and straight into an attack. So now I'm going to try the overhand draw. So as you can see, I've kind of based the idea of the spear off a boar spear. So it's got these protruding wings, if you like, on the side here. This guard that prevents anything from being impaled past this point. But it also functions. They also function quite nicely as a set of hooks to manipulate, but also as a kind of pick, perhaps for piercing armor. Not that you couldn't do that with the spear tip itself. But yeah, I thought I would just demonstrate the quick draw sheath or scabbard system, and just something to think about anachronistically, what things would have been like, whether people would have carried spears with them for self-defense in medieval times, if they could carry a spear that they could carry at their hip as a sword, as a sword can be carried. Would it have been more common to see people using spears instead of swords as a middle-aged equivalent of an everyday carry rather than a sword? So I will get into some more projects with this folding spear in future. I'm looking forward to some of them, and I hope you are too. So I'll see you next time. Cheers.